Welcome back to another episode of the Bouncing Potatoes podcast. My name is Osandha, and with me I have.
And Elizabeth.
That's right, folks. We have a very special guest star today. We have effectively kicked Christian off the podcast. We haven't told him this yet, but he has shirked his TVP duties for too long at this point, so he's effectively gone. So let's go ahead and you two, if you guys want to start with Elizabeth's segment, or you can just talk about your weeks, whatever you two want to do.
My week was fantastic. I got engaged.
That's right. Congratulations to the happy couple, the Beyonce and Beyonce. I don't know. I don't get why the names are so similar. But yes, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. And besides that, I just went to work. It was pretty boring. How was your week, baby?
Oh, it was great. I got engaged.
To who?
To you.
Oh, really? I thought it was another black guy.
No, just you.
Right.
And I've been off of school all week. And we went to a city council meeting the other night.
Oh, yes. Where she spoke and got a sitting ovation.
I did. I got a little round of applause at the city council meeting. It was very interesting.
And she spoke on not banning food trucks. The city of Moore Park will hopefully not ban food trucks because they're good and tasty.
Mm-hmm.
So did they make a decision, or is it still going to go up to vote or something?
No, they didn't make any decision. They just decided what's going on now is fine. They're just going to leave it at that. Yeah.
Wait, sorry. So how's it going on right now? Is it banned or not banned?
No, they have a lot of restrictions that I think are too strict. Or I proposed loosening the restrictions. They didn't want to go for that. They just made no decision and moved on. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess at least it didn't get worse.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else for YouTube?
No.
Well, right now I'm recording a podcast.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. So just for everyone who's wondering why they keep looking down, the laptop is on the ground. So that's why it's, so they're looking down at me right now. Is basically what's going on.
Trying not to.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, my week was horrendous. As good as your guys' week was, my week is probably just as bad. I called out of work for the first time in 3 weeks. To deal with some stuff that I had going on. I would love to say I'm better now, but I'm not. But it's okay, because I'll keep at it. But yeah, long story short, got some interesting news about my ex. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, the person delivering this news to me was one of the few people in this world that I genuinely just dislike. She dislikes me, I dislike her. And of all people in this world, she's the one who gave me this information. So, clearly, just a whole bunch of annoyance. And it definitely sent me on a spiral. But that's it is what it is. I felt all my feelings. But damn, horrible, just horrible. But I only worked 3 days this week, so that's a plus. I'm working more hours.
Yeah, no, I forgot we had a holiday included.
Yes, you were just so, yeah. Monday was a holiday. Yes, Monday. Yeah, I was off Monday and Wednesday. Either way, it was good that I called out. My manager didn't come in anyway, so I was chilling. And I'm still gonna get paid for the days. So really, yeah, not too bad. Excited for the weekend, so I can do nothing. But actually, well, you know what? I did book the hotel room for.
Oh, hell yeah!
So that is exciting. Yeah, excited to see you guys in a month for that. What we got going on. Hopefully, Ethan's twin brothers show up, but yeah, those
They
two.
pay you back, or they can pay you back later, or is it a gift?
They'll pay me back late. That's fine. They can pay me like literally the day after the hotel. I'm not worried about that.
Oh, I don't know
Yeah,
if it was a gift or not.
they just got to make sure they get the train ticket.
I know. Yeah, and then get to the station on the day of, but they got it.
So in terms of current events, the one that I was found interesting is how California decided not to ban tackle football. So there was a bill that wanted tackle football to be banned for kids under the age of 12. And Gavin Newsom actually shut it down. So I understand why they shut it down. Number one, it's like the whole personal liberty thing and yada yada. And then number two is just all about the money because it makes a lot of money. But from a health perspective, I think tackle football is terrible. There's a reason I don't watch the NFL because the only time I watch the NFL is sometimes the Super Bowl. But genuinely, I do think tackle football is really bad. Just like boxing, just like MMA. So all those contact sports have issues. So what are your guys' thoughts on the tackle football not being banned?
Tackle football hurts. Boy, those little 12-year-olds can get concussions. And that's why my mom wouldn't let me play it. I didn't want to, but she wouldn't let me. But, damn, yeah. That'll be, I can foresee a lot of concussions and head injuries. And upset. Why don't the parents be upset? They shouldn't be because they enrolled their kids in it. But still, I can foresee a lot of health issues and mental issues later on down the line. All for some money. Come on, Gavin Gruesome.
So here's the question. Would you two let your kids play tackle football?
Absolutely
No,
not.
She doesn't like football, so no.
I'm not even not like it, but like it is like it is proven that it is just like not good for their brains and like the amount of concussions and injuries that happen, and there are just like an abundance of other sports to get that kind of like athleticism and like physical outlet. I just like I don't see any benefit from it.
Agreed. I actually wouldn't let my kids play tackle football either for the exact same reason. But I still, unfortunately, have to kind of agree with this, that there should still be the choice. Because if the choice isn't there, then, like, it's a dangerous slope. You know, some people could then be like, well, this sport has contact in it, this sport has contact in it, we should ban this too. And then, you know, it's a bit of an issue. But
currently, are these sports leagues all just kind of like private leagues that their parents enroll them in, or are there any schools at that like 12-year-old level that are having tackle football?
That's a good question. To be honest,
I think if anything, like state funds or like public funds should not be used for something so dangerous for children.
I actually don't know. That's a good follow-up question, though.
Yeah, because I know at least like in my town growing up, I know that there was like a private football league outside of school that kids were doing, but 12 is too young. I think even that would have been like okay. Like I don't, especially if you think of like a lot of sports, the kids start playing pretty early so they can develop like skills before getting drafted. But I don't know. I still think like 12, it still gives like a kid like 6 years to practice and levels of playing field. I don't know.
And you can still get football skills without tackling somebody.
That's true.
You can play flag football and still run a play, So it's not like they can start playing at 12. They don't have to hit people to be good at football, Run the play. You can run the play and pull the flag off somebody.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so just to show like how it's more so, there's more things at large than just like the health issues for the kids, but like basically this is a quote. But a vote in favor of that ban could have done damage in rural California, where kids in football jerseys commonly appear on campaign websites to prove a candidate's local ties, and such views are seen as patronizing.
Interesting.
But again, the kids could still appear in football jerseys. It would just be tackle football. So, I get it. It's like the big American thing. Americans love their football. I'm pretty sure it's the number one sport in America, but it's a legitimate problem.
Yeah.
Health-wise.
Mm-hmm.
For even the adults, it's a serious issue. So that's why, in general, I agree with you too. I wouldn't let my kids play tackle football ever. I would just encourage them to play any other sport, basically.
Yeah.
But just tackle football, it's not it, honestly. Okay. Now, whenever you guys want to talk about Elizabeth's thing, just let me know. But the other thing was, if you guys get Ethan, go ahead.
I just want to talk about Charles Barkley. Okay, I still can't believe that guy. This man took, what did you say, Ozempic?
I think he's on Ozempic. He was on some type of weight loss drug.
I just know, so dramatic. He just doesn't even look like a person. I don't know if that's healthy or not, but boy, it was scaring me for a second. Yeah, do you have a picture of that? I guess it's, you can pull a picture. He looks like a bobblehead. Like, it was a little scary. I was like, and like Osandha said, I had it looked like a bad Photoshop. I was like, did he some Photoshop his head on his body? I was crazy because his head didn't catch up with the rest of his body. Like, that was shocking. Yeah, so that's him normally. But then he just appeared on this interview, like last week, and after taking this drug, I guess, and his head looks like that, but his body's super small compared to the rest of them. And
this one?
No, it's what? God, Osandha, what do you know? Where he appeared?
Honestly,
I was in
maybe
shock.
the Today Show. I'm not 100.
Oh, I remember I tagged Osandha, so after this I can show you.
You sent it to the chat. You can actually just.
Oh yeah, I'm on my phone. Oh, I guess it was in my pocket. Yeah, but
this man, I don't know if y'all saw that on camera.
What do you?
He patted one side of his pants. He's like, "Oh, I don't have my phone," and then that's ridiculous.
What do you think about Mr. Barkley's new look?
For me, it wasn't as jarring because I've still been watching him every week, unlike you.
Oh yeah, that's true. I haven't seen Inside the NBA, so that's him. Mm-hmm. And compared to like what he normally looks, I haven't seen him in a while. So the way the picture's thing, he looks photoshopped. I'm like, oh my gosh, is he okay? I thought he had cancer or something. But I'm glad he's okay, just taking this little weight loss thing. But oh my god, I think he's good. He doesn't have to take it anymore.
He's I don't know. I mean, the whole weight loss drugs, they did definitely reach the very high popularity. I think like last year, I would say, with the celebrities taking it. But now the fall out is coming from those same drugs, and they're kind of on the decline. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens to these people like later on if they like gain that weight back.
I guess they're still really popular, and that Ozempic in particular it's originally designed for people with diabetes, and some people that are prescribed for diabetes have had a hard time finding the drug because it's being used by so many people who like realistically don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I watched I think it was a TikTok or something, and like a deep dive of how easy it is to get, and how there are like specific telehealth services entirely online just for Ozempic. And like the person that was doing this investigation, she put in her it asks you all your details of your height and weight so you can calculate your BMI, and she put it in and everything, and because she was a normal healthy person, it popped back and said, "Oh no, like you don't qualify. Is it possible that you made a mistake? Would you like to enter your information again?" And so it gave her the opportunity to go back and raise her weight, and it approved it. And so she was still able to get her hands on the drug, even though she clearly did not need it.
Nice. That's great.
Yeah.
That sounds like a great way. Very healthy.
Yeah. I'm always
Great.
surprised how some drugs like that, it seems like the people who need it the most have the hardest time getting it, but those who don't need it have a really easy time. I don't know.
That's just extremely frustrating.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons, obviously. But to Ethan's point, yes, Charles Barkley lost. Well, okay, so he actually lost 62 pounds on Ozempic's competitor, Mounjaro.
Mm-hmm.
So 62 pounds, Mounjaro, which is similar to Ozempic and Wegovy. To be honest, I'm not even gonna lie. I only know Ozempic. That's the only one that I knew about.
Yeah.
But again, for anyone who is on these weight loss drugs, I don't really know. I never tried it myself, so I don't have like anecdotal experience, but I can just say I'm pretty confident that the long-term side effects have not been researched.
Yeah. My one of my nemesises for my birthday party was on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good. So we'll see what happens to her later.
She just never ate. And then would like go to the bars with us and like drink a whole bunch.
Yeah, but that wouldn't really.
Exactly. So just like erase the fact, like she didn't eat all day, but then she would like drink $800 of calories.
Because I'm like, she didn't look like Charles Barkley, so I guess I was canceling out.
That's not healthy.
No, not at all.
It's like double unhealthy. Right?
Yeah.
Taking the thing.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I mean, it's like how Charles is actually like he drinks like 10 to 15 cans of Diet Coke a day. So also very, very unhealthy.
Although I'm still not convinced that diet sodas and the aspartame is actually that unhealthy for you.
Oh, I'm not even referring to that. I'm just referring to the fact that 10 to 15 is just too much.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Even water, I agree. Yeah. So just in general, that much like soda for sure is not. That's a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Not a lot. Good for you. The aspartame, that's a fair point. But I mean, more research again on that one for sure.
Yeah.
But next up, again, interrupt me if you guys want to talk about anything. Well, I mean, Ethan technically did that anyway.
That's
so
right.
Yeah. For real though. So Apple, did you get your Apple check, Ethan?
I didn't get one. I hope I filled it out. I thought I did. Or did I get approved? I don't know. But I'm still looking. You got $67 for something.
For what?
So Apple lost a settlement about how they were purposely slowing down their iPhones. From what I understand, they were purposely slowing down their older iPhones to encourage people to buy their newer phones.
Mm-hmm.
And they lost a lawsuit on this. And back in 2020, people had to like enter their name on like a website if they wanted to get like the settlement claim.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that I did that and I sent it to everyone and I encouraged everyone to.
I'm pretty sure I did.
To sign. Because whenever this stuff happens, I always sign it because I love the free money.
Yeah.
And what happened was earlier this week, I got a check from Apple, Performance Inc. litigation, something like that, and it was for $92.17, I think. So usually, I will be honest, these settlement claims do not have this high amount, but that was a nice, pleasant surprise. We're talking like almost $100 for literally doing nothing. I felt like Christmas.
I see you're finally getting into it. It's a funny joke. I see now that is a funny joke.
So yeah, I deposited that bad boy real quick. I hope you guys get it too.
I never signed up. I never knew about
I
that.
hope so, because I swear, I think when you sent it, because especially since 2020, I wasn't doing anything at home. I'm sure I signed up. I usually sign up. I always get a couple of bucks from Sony and random things and things I sign up for. But I got my $95 annual fee back. Thank you, Chase.
See, that's insane that Chase actually gave you that back. That's pretty impressive.
Back, which is actually, I'm like, alright, we get it.
I always get the class action checks from old jobs that I used to work. I get those all the time. But it's
That's
always
both
like
sad and good.
yeah, it's like $3 though. Like a lot of times I don't even remember to cash them because it's just like, what the fuck is $3 gonna do? Is that gonna take away the pain of working for your company?
Yeah, 92, huh? That's the highest I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Higher than the Disney's was 67. That was pretty good. They had an annual pass lawsuit, but that one got $67. That was pretty cool. It was not me, but that one else did.
So again, for anyone who's getting those checks, please make sure that you do cash them. It's safe to do it. You don't need to worry about fraud or anything like that. These are legit checks. I looked it up before I deposited it. I had no issue. That was that one. Other thing, Chuck E. Cheese is gonna have a game show.
Yeah, what is this?
So Chuck E. Cheese is gonna have a game show that's similar to Squid Game, apparently. So they are kind of like, they're basically doubling down on the fact that people are scared of their animatronics. Like my ex, for example, she was afraid of the animatronics. She did not like the rat or the mouse. And I think it's actually a smart idea, to be honest, because they're getting the adults involved, which is obviously important. And we saw the popularity of Squid Games, for better or for worse. Obviously, Mr. Beast has kind of perverted it by making it such a capitalistic thing when it was literally fighting against that. So that's a little unfortunate. But I think it's going to be like some type of like a game show featuring like adult versions of the little kid games. So I think it'll be really cool. I'm excited to see what happens. Even though I hate Chuck E. Cheese with a passion,
why do you hate it?
I used to work there, and I learned how much of a business it is. I still have friends who still work there, which is insane to me because it's been like 8 years.
Yeah, a long time ago. That's me living in West Hills.
So it's crazy. But I still don't want Chuck E. Cheese to like go out of business though, because I do think it's important for kids to have a place like that. You know, the memories and all that. But I can tell y'all that it is very, very like, it's a business. It is definitely a business. And they do not treat them. What do you say?
I said I hope it is. Except if you work there. That's so sad.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice to see some positive news about Chuck E. Cheese. Because usually, like, I mean, back a couple years ago, I think during the pandemic, there was the whole nonsense about them reusing their pizza, which just pissed me off. Because wasn't true. I literally would watch my coworkers make the fresh pizza every single morning. And then my friends at the time, they were like, "Nah, man, it's gotta be. They're reusing it. Like the cuts don't make sense." And their whole thing was like Shane Dawson or whatever. That was their proof that the pizzas were being reused. And then lo and behold, it came out that Shane Dawson molested cat. So really, really good evidence that they had. Yeah. Instead of believing me, who literally worked there, saw it with my own eyes, they decided to believe a cat molester. So obviously, I let that one go. But yeah, Chuck E. Cheese having a game show. And then this is actually legit, like the last current event that I got, but I saw a Yahoo article how a husband left dirty dishes in the sink for his wife. And she was about to flip on him, but then she saw a note and it said, you know what? Let me make sure I don't want to get the note wrong. So, because it's a viral 3-word note.
I love you.
No, that I don't think that would have helped.
Clean them up.
Okay, here we go. So the note said, "I got it," and it had an arrow pointing to the
That's what
to the dishes. Yeah.
work.
So she woke up. She's 43. Susan Layman woke up to a sink full of dirty dishes. Her knee-jerk reaction was anger. Her husband had people over for the big game the night before, and then left the dishes, and then he left a note. So there's the internet, as usual, is divided about this. One side is like, oh, well, that's nice. I mean, at least he communicated with her. And then the other is like, the bar's on the floor. The bar's on the floor. The classic thing to say. The bare minimum. The bare minimum. So I'm curious what your guys' thoughts are on the subject.
It's definitely the bare minimum, but bare minimum is okay sometimes. Like, we do not have to be operating at peak performance every day. That's just unrealistic. Like, yeah, in a perfect world, he had all his friends over for the big game. He would just do the dishes before he went to bed and made sure that it was taken care of. But, like, it's an impossible expectation to think that someone is capable of doing that all the time. And again, in an even not a perfect world, but a better world, he'd wake up early the next morning and get it taken care of. He did it, but that's okay. And so he did the bare minimum of at least taking responsibility for it, so that she wasn't then burdened with the chore when she woke up and she knew that she just didn't have to deal with it. I think if this is a repeated thing that he's doing, like, every single Sunday night when his friends are coming over for a football game, that could be an issue. But I don't know. I personally would never expect my spouse to be perfect every single day.
I'm just having my wife do it.
Oh, that's real funny.
Just kidding. No, he got it. That's pretty good. He said he got it. It's good enough for me.
See, this is why it's exciting to have like a female perspective on the podcast. Because again, it's just important to have that in general.
That's right.
Because I wouldn't have looked at it from that perspective, right? I wouldn't have seen it as the bare minimum. I would have seen it as like a medium level of effort. Because he did acknowledge his, like, not mistake, but he acknowledged the fact that there was a problem. But to hear you say that it's the bare minimum and the reasoning why, it makes sense too, right? I definitely agree. If it's because usually these games are like every week. So if every week homeboy's doing this, then it is a bit of a problem, because if the whole sink is full of dirty dishes, like, what the hell is she gonna cook, you know? And it's also just kind of gross to have those sitting overnight. Yeah. So I definitely get that now. I just think usually when people say bare minimum, it's like they have such a negative connotation behind it. Yeah. And that's the part that bugs me. Like, I think what he did was good. It could have been better for sure. He could have at least done like half of them.
That's what I was thinking.
Left a note, you know? Then it's like, oh, like, he just ran out of time. He had to sleep. He had to get to work, blah, blah, blah. But at least he did half of them. And he left a note, like, acknowledging that he'll still take care of it. But, yeah, I mean, that's fair. I understand the perspectives. I just think, like,
I don't think that bare minimum has to be a bad thing. Like, it doesn't have to have a negative connotation. Like, bare minimum is still the bare, like, he still met expectations. You know, and that's okay. Like, we don't have to exceed expectations all the time.
See, no, that's also a great point, because the internet will have you believing otherwise. That, yeah, I think unrealistic expectations for both sides, not just for men, but also for women, all across the board. To be honest, is what social media leads to.
Yeah, and I don't know what your corners of internet algorithms the two of you are exposed to, but at least for me, like on TikTok, I've seen a lot of conversation about the like mental labor of household tasks. Have you guys heard anything about that? I'm just like, of like, it's not just the physical act of doing the dishes, but it's the mental load of, okay, let me add this to my to-do list. If I have to do this sink full of dishes, that means that the shopping that I needed to do has to be pushed back. Then that means that the laundry I had to do gets pushed back here, and the mental load of fitting a new task into your schedule for something like that, or even something like being the person responsible for feeding the family. It's not just the act of standing in front of the stove to cook dinner. It's the mental load of, let me devise a menu for the week. Let me write out the shopping list. Let me figure out when I'm going to the grocery store. Let me figure out how I'm going to make sure I'm going to use all, like, and that I think historically men have not understood that domestic tasks come with mental load, and that when they are not carrying their fair weight of tasks in the household, they don't realize just how much they're putting on the women in their lives, that it's not just the physical task.
That makes sense. You should ask Ethan what his thoughts are about stay-at-home mothers.
Stay-at-home mothers? Or you want to be a stay-at-home father?
Yes. I wanted to be a stay-at-home dad, but remember what you said about adults who stay at home.
Oh, yes. What do I say? I forgot.
You were very much not a fan of it because you thought that they needed to get a job.
Oh, yeah.
That's what you said.
As long as everyone's making some money.
Well, you don't think that, like, raising a child is equal to the same amount of, like, labor and investment?
Well, of course. But if you can't, I also mentioned if you can't afford to stay at home.
Well, a lot of parents can't. A lot of parents, like, sometimes can't really afford to, like, have the second parent leave the house. Like, and in California, I don't think this is big as much of a thing, but when I was working at a car dealership in Idaho, I sat next to another salesman whose wife was a stay-at-home mom, specifically because daycare was so outrageously expensive that it would cost more than she could reasonably make in a year, because she never went to college. She didn't have a degree. She really wouldn't be able to make much more than minimum wage. And so it was cheaper for them as a family for him to be the sole earner and for the wife and kids to be on government assistance in the form of I think their health insurance and stuff like that. And that
makes sense.
Cheaper for them.
Yeah.
And I said, as long as you can afford it, so that's the way they can afford it. But if you, if someone just doesn't want to work, or whatever the reason is, and then
well, keeping a house is still hard work.
No, you're not. You think I'll let me finish the point? Okay. If you can't afford the house because one person working can't afford the house, then you have no house. That's my point. So whatever that you said, that thing was cheaper, so that's perfect. They can afford that. But I was specifically talking about because Osandha, when he's talking about stay-at-home fathers, and he's making a very lazy type of statement. So I was saying people who are lazy and don't want to work, that you won't be able to afford to stay in your home, most likely.
Yes, it's because, to Ethan's credit, I was saying that I wanted to be a stay-at-home dad, and I wanted my spouse to pay me $5,000 a month.
Yeah. So with that, you can't afford, and then you probably wouldn't use it on groceries or because it's yours. So then your whole household would go broke.
Yes. So. Sorry,
and when you said you stay at home, you didn't said no mention of doing any laundry or doing any tasks. You said you'd wash your kid, but you didn't do any of the other stuff. You seem to want her to do that.
I thought that was implied.
Kick her out of the house for one day. Was it Sunday? So it was me day. So you said you're gonna kick your wife or girlfriend out of the house for a day. I'm like, oh, wow. That type of stay-at-home situation, I don't think many would be agreeing to. You said you would do that. Even with the apartment. You said, with You said, oh, you even said, well, preferably you would want us out of the house on Sunday, but you can't do that because we're paying. So when you get a girlfriend, you're going to kick her out of the house on Sunday. Which, if you find someone that agrees to that, I'll give you a round of applause because that'd be crazy. I'd love to. That'd be your soulmate. You're going to lose her to find someone like that.
I mean, my ex did agree to that too.
She did?
An easy, surefire way to get a Sunday alone is to find a girl who really likes getting her nails and lashes done. I mean, you'll have to fund it, obviously. You'll have to pay, and she'll leave, go get her treatments done. You'll have the whole afternoon to yourself.
Or if you want half a day yourself, so find someone who's going to go to church every week and doesn't care if you show up.
See, now I'd rather fund the nails and lashes. Here's the thing. Ethan, I think what you're forgetting about my wish about being a stay-at-home dad is how much I paid for my ex in the past relationship.
I know, so that was all your fault.
That's crazy. I mean, yes and no, alright? But yeah, I spent a lot of money, so now I wouldn't mind if the new girl, spends that money on me.
Hey,
Ain't no thing, Mike.
Hey, me too. And hey, if someone wants to pay me $5,000 a week to live with them, I would certainly take it.
Oh, tell Osandha what you wanted to pay for in the cashback situation.
Oh yes, I wanted our lovely Capital One Savior One rewards card. Please sponsor us, Capital One. We keep talking about you every
podcast we've talked about, y'all,
and a YouTube short. I saw that.
I saw it too.
She has tremendous dental work. She has
not tremendous. Done. Be nice to me.
Tremendous. You have lots of things. You said it's not bad.
A couple of things. Yeah.
Okay. Well, she has some dental work to get done. That's yes. And one of the cheaper things is only $700, right? And it's a deep cleaning. And I was like, man, can I pay for that with my Capital One rewards and get some money back? Because other stuff's like over $1,000. I don't want to do that. But I was like, $700. I just got an iPad that was almost half the price. I was like, man. And she was like, oh, Sana's gonna be not gonna like it. I'm like, man, this is the guy who went and took out 4 loans and is the credit card man with cash back. I'm sure he would be thrilled, or at least be okay with it.
That's the stupidest thing, though. Spending more money for $20.
It's not stupid because it's like I'm spending more money on your health, your gums,
so sweet.
Your gums. You need it, and then I get rewarded for helping you out.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Well, I have a question. Is it a situation where you need the surgery anyway? Oh.
I will need it, but it will be okay for me to wait until I am employed later in the year and have dental insurance. It will be okay for 6 months. It's that kind of thing.
Okay. All I'll say from a health perspective is teeth can be scary. So definitely make sure, as best as you can, just be on top of that because teeth.
No lecture about my teeth. What I'm saying
he said.
What I'm saying is that spending unnecessary money to get more cash back.
She just called her. She said her gums are unnecessary.
Well, they are okay to wait. I promise.
Mm-hmm.
I will also say that, Elizabeth, you have to keep in mind you have a fiance now. Like, if homeboy's willing to spend the money on you, you might as well. Obviously, I'm assuming Ethan expects you to pay him back.
No.
Oh, no.
No.
Elizabeth, you gotta take it. That's crazy.
I feel so weird. This is not the first time he's offered to spend money on me, and I just feel so weird about it. I would rather him go and take me to dinner 50 times than.
And see, that to me is not as important as helping out a lovely lady's gums.
I'll say this.
Be very happy too because wow, your fiance saved us a nice. Because other things are over 1,000 and 1,900.
Yeah, that's my wisdom teeth gotta come out.
So why not cover small expense?
What's the
rewards on some hotel rooms for a honeymoon?
Oh, so sweet.
I actually have to agree with Ethan on this one. because I think number one, your credit limit's 4K, right, Ethan?
5K.
5K. Okay, and you can afford the 700 anyway. You're gonna pay it off the next month.
Oh yeah, I'll pay it off before then. Probably the next week, whenever after I spend it.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, I mean, I wouldn't say you should put it on your Capital One. I would still actually say you should put it on like a Chase. But I actually think
better.
I think it's a good idea, to be honest.
Because actually, Chase, I have $100 in rewards cash back already, so I can use that to pay off the $680. Ooh, wait. And the fact that this is like a month out or something, might be more money. Oh my God, this is the greatest idea ever. Now, to be fair, her insurance, she's waiting on some pre-approval or something, so they could pay for it anyway. But I just said if she got rejected, if it didn't work out, I can step in to help those gums like Superman.
Oh my God, Super Dog.
Yeah, I mean, so just something to consider. Yeah, I mean, dental work can be expensive, very expensive.
It's crazy. My insurance doesn't cover like anything.
Oh, that reminds me.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to add her as a dependent on your insurance, huh?
Me? I don't know.
Or not dependent, but no.
You're the one who handles all that. What should I add her?
We have to be married, right?
I think you do have to be married, but I mean, next year you'll be able to add her as a dependent. How cool!
To my free Aetna insurance.
Wait, it's free?
Yeah, my dental subsidy.
Maybe we should at the courthouse tomorrow. Won't tell anyone. It'll just be in title, so we can share in health insurance.
Baby. Yeah, all my stuff is free except for therapy, $10. But the rest of it
basically free. Yeah, wow.
I mean, my eyes, my doctors, and my teeth, all free.
Oh, that's
because
nice.
LAUSD is free.
This is why. I mean, I even suggested that I would marry Christian just to help him out with all his stuff.
Because you were telling him about like Medi-Cal being an option and everything. That's what I have, and that's why it comes with the dental insurance, but they basically all they cover is your exam and your cleanings. That's basically it.
Yeah.
And for my wisdom teeth, they're going to cover the extraction, but nothing else, and so it's still $1,900 even after the covering.
How much would be without the extra?
I don't know, but when they gave me the plan for the extraction, the deep cleaning, everything in total before insurance was $10,000.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of cash back.
And with insurance, it was $3. Yeah, with insurance, it was $3. So I mean, paying for a decent amount, but that's still so much out of pocket.
7%.
All I'll say is like wisdom teeth is that can be serious. That can go bad quickly. Like my wisdom teeth they started hurting. And then, within a week, I needed to get the surgery because, they hurt bad. So I actually only had 3 out of 4 grow, and it was only, 1 that was inflamed. But I still had to get all 3 removed.
I know. Mine are, almost completely grown in.
Okay. And does it hurt?
I have one that it's the last one that's growing, and it was hurting. It's better now.
Okay, Elizabeth. All I'm saying is just keep it in mind because again, you don't need to, you got a fiance now, who's willing to take care of you.
Take advantage. Be Jewish and
take advantage of you. I don't like taking advantage.
To be fair, also, I want to gloat on my 4 wisdom teeth are in and straight, and they said I get to keep them.
Really?
Yes.
Let me see. I can see that's okay. Oh, I see it. Wow.
Yeah, Ethan has good teeth.
Chilling.
Yeah.
You just went to the dentist yesterday.
Yeah, and I only did that because it was free.
Yeah. I mean, just some to keep in mind. Again,
Yes, that's right. Let me spend the $600
right here.
Let me spend that. I told you, the man took out 4 loans, and is the biggest supporter of rewards on credit cards. There's no way he's.
The one thing though is, Ethan, keep in mind, if there is a transaction fee, then it's not going to be worth it. So if there's a transaction fee to use a credit card, then the cash back won't really be worth it.
True. but
Yeah.
I'll ask.
Okay. Elizabeth, well, you don't need to say it out loud if you don't want to, but how is your credit?
It's good. Not great, but good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Ethan could definitely help you out with that, too, by adding you as an authorized user on his card.
We talked about that when we really start getting going with the wedding planning stuff. We're going to open like a joint one, and then we'll have to figure it out. But I think it would be a good idea doing one that has travel rewards, specifically for like a honeymoon would be cool. And like I know, like my mom will help a little bit with some wedding stuff, but make the kind request of let's put it on the credit card and you can reimburse us so that we can get those points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, I love it. A two-player strategy is even better when it comes to credit cards. I love it.
That's right.
I opened a new one this week, actually.
Ooh, which one?
The Best Buy one.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting. Best Buy, I'm pretty sure, is a city card. So that's, yeah.
Yeah, it is. And it's...
I will say...
It's okay. They have, like, I think it's 5 to 10% cash back on different purchases. Okay. Or 0% financing for different amounts of time. You can choose one or the other.
All right. Yeah. Ethan, for sure, when you guys are closer to the wedding stuff, I would say, like, Chase Sapphire. You should get the Chase Sapphire again.
Yeah. All right.
Because
that's a travel one.
Yeah. So, and you have a strong ecosystem with Chase.
My mom uses, they have like the travel services too, or they'll like book stuff for you and stuff, I think. And so that's what she did. She booked us flights to go see my brother in Minnesota. So she was able to go through Chase for all that. Yeah, even like there was this whole situation where she was trying to fly in to see my brother graduate in Idaho years ago, and there were storms and like flight cancellations, delays, like all this mess, and she did not have to sit on hold with Delta or whoever it was. She was able to call Chase and have them like figure stuff out for her. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. See, so Ethan, like, for sure, because you got that relationship with Chase already, so definitely capitalize on that. But keep in mind, Chase is good also if you want to go international, because I don't know where y'all planning on with the honeymoon. So Chase will be fine there. But Capital One won't really help you if you're gonna go anywhere domestic for like flight. So Capital One does not have any domestic flight travel partners. There we go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
So,
I like that.
But yeah, exciting. Very exciting stuff.
I know. Credit cards are amazing, aren't they?
They really are. They really are. I also got 20,000 Chase points now because I just hit the $500.
Oh, I remember doing that.
Speaking of, screw Goldman Sachs. All right, I wanted to talk about that. I totally forgot about this. So,
what happened?
In November, Ethan sent me an email about $75 if I applied for the Apple Card, and I did that, and I got a $6,000 limit on the Apple Card, which is actually one of the highest limits I have on any of my credit cards. So obviously I got approved. Blah 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 blah. I spent the money on the card, and I emailed them like, hey, I'm supposed to get my $75 daily cash, etc., which they had previously confirmed that I was gonna get. Yesterday or 2 days ago, I talked with Goldman Sachs, and they told me that I had previously applied for the Apple Card. Let me actually read the exact dates that they told me. Not only did they claim that I had applied for the card, they said that I had opened up an account, an Apple Card, on June 21st, 2020, May 16th, 2023, September 26th, 2023, and yeah. So basically, no. What happens is, when you check, this is a warning for everyone. When you check your pre-approval odds for the Apple Card, Goldman Sachs, for whatever stupid reason, thinks that you're opening an account with them, even if you do not actually open the card. It's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So Ethan, you're probably not gonna get that $75 for referring me.
Damn, stupid Goldman Sachs. Get out of there, Apple. Come to Chase instead.
Absolutely idiotic. Because why? I literally was talking to the dude with Goldman Sachs, and I'm like, hey, like, you understand why it would be stupid for me to open the card up 4 times and close it?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I understand.
Like internal reporting, or is that how it's showing up on a credit check too?
Only on their internal reporting, because I know damn well it's not on my credit. I do not have any inquiries except the first one from when I legitimately opened up the card.
Yeah. Weird.
So absolutely stupid. The only good news is they still gave me $75 of credit on the card as a good faith thing or some shit. But that only pissed me off, to be honest, because first off, it's not. But anyway, it's better than nothing. But it was really annoying. So yeah, just a warning for anyone who tries to get $75 daily cash with Apple. It might not work as easily as they claim. But yeah, I mean, hopefully Apple Card does become a Chase card, because then it will be a Visa card, hopefully. And Visa, as we all know, is acceptable in Costco, which is a big place I want to go to when we do move out, because that's where I plan on getting a lot of the groceries.
And it's right next to it. This place.
That is true. Depending on where we live, again, depending on your twin brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who's very, very fickle. All right. So that was a little a side note on credit cards, but next up, well, it would be Elizabeth's current event.
Okay. So there's been a lot of conversation about the 10-year-olds in Sephora, which I'll explain to you two is a phenomenon where preteen girls are very into skincare right now, into high-end luxury skincare products. And there are a lot of stories of these 10-year-old girls running around like little maniacs in Sephora. Stories of them messing up displays and making the samplers all messy and disgusting. Being rude to workers, arguing with their moms, knocking stuff over, just wreaking havoc in the store. And so there was a lot of conversation at first that centered around just how annoying these children are, and then the next conversation that came out of it was a lot of blame placed on the parents for letting their children act like this. But I think as this phenomena has developed, the conversation has as well. And I think it's a little deeper than just blaming preteens for being preteens and blaming parenting decisions. And I think that it reveals a pretty sad trend where we have known for years that beauty-centered brands capitalize off of women's insecurities to sell products. It has been very successful for many years in this, I think, billions of dollar industry. And especially when it comes to aging, middle-aged women buy a lot of products to try to work on wrinkles and fine lines and other... Yeah. And it's very sad that these products are now being marketed younger and younger, where I remember a few years ago feeling a little shocked that these products were being marketed to women my age, watching women my age get Botox or use retinols, which retinol is a certain cream that's not recommended for anyone under the age of 25 that focuses on some of the fine lines and other signs of aging. And that now these products are being marketed to preteens, where some of them include active ingredients like retinol that are not safe for them to be using. They should only be used by people over the age of 25. Mm-hmm. And there's some argument to say, well, this one brand in particular, Drunk Elephant, uses colorful packaging. So there's an argument that, look, the brand itself is marketing towards children because it has bright colors. I don't know if I would go that far, but the age that we live in social media, influencers are showing young women their audiences what products they should be using, how to use them, doing these shopping haul videos, these get ready with me videos, talking about how they need these products, and whether or not the brand in particular is the one that paid an influencer to talk about it, or it's just a part of just wider market and industry in general. I think it's very sad that young girls are flocking to products that they do not need and that are not safe for their precious, sensitive skin. Yeah.
So I will say, disclaimer: I just spent $96 on skincare last week.
Nice.
So just want to point that out. Number two, I did not know that retinol was not supposed to be used by anyone under 25. I know about retinol because my coworkers use it. Pretty sure I'm gonna have to talk to one of them because she's under 25. So yeah, I didn't know that about retinol. I will say that obviously, I mean, it's just a fact that social media preys on the insecurities of young women. I mean, it's sad that it is not like it's reaching skincare. It's sad, but then maybe it's not good, but like it's hard to explain. But like I feel like skincare is important, which is something that was very much drilled to me by my ex, because my skincare was I called it God's moisturizer, so I would just put water on, and that was me, making sure that my skin was good. But
you know what? For a lot of people, that's sufficient. Like, I don't think it needs to cost $96. It can, depending on what you're trying to target and depending on the kind of like experience that you want, because like skincare has gone beyond normal hygiene and gotten into this whole new realm of luxury self-care.
Mm-hmm.
And how it's about like the status and the experience of it. Yeah.
I would agree. I would also agree with that. Because yeah, I mean there are obviously influencers who like they do like things like get ready with me and then they show all their products and stuff, and it it can be misleading because number one, like you said, a lot of these times these people are being paid to show these products.
Yeah.
So they probably don't even actually use them.
Mm-hmm.
Some do, some don't. But either way, it's still an issue. Yeah, it's tricky, honestly, because obviously, like I don't know the mind of a 10-year-old girl.
I almost feel like I need to show you guys what I looked like as a preteen, because preteens look and act so much different now than they used to, and not in the sense of like these children are too fast and kind of way, but like in this like I feel bad because I had limited to clothing brand when I was a preteen that focused on like fun prints and bright colors and self-expression. And now I feel like it's about turning children into adult consumers as fast as possible.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense. I think as a dude, I am hesitant to say my fully honest thoughts about this because, like, it's like little girls getting into makeup. Is that bad, or is that them just like learning to express themselves?
I think that there is a difference between like when I was a preteen, because I was able to go into specific preteen stores and look for specific preteen brands. I was not using Fenty Beauty style makeup. I was not using MAC and like luxury brands. I had access to this like super cheap makeup that is like, it is crappy stuff. It is not like good high quality, but at 10, 11, 12 years old, I did not know how to apply this kind of stuff. So just a little bit of blue on my eyes is sufficient. And I don't think teens have that anymore. They don't have the cute little flip phone cell phone and you open it up and it's like different colored lip glosses. Like they don't have that kind of cute stuff anymore. It's going from childhood and Barbies directly into like luxury adult products. There just isn't an in between anymore for them.
Mm-hmm. And I can definitely imagine like how that would be tough on the parents too, though. Because like again, like the parents might be hearing like the skin, like the health concerns of not having like good skincare and stuff, and then obviously they're getting pressured by their kids. It's like mommy, Becky has this, I want it, so
right.
it definitely makes sense on the parents' side of things. Obviously, the parents need to reel in the kids when they're actually in the stores, though. That is that's a separate issue. But I mean, it just sucks, obviously, like we're a very consumption-based society, and I definitely do think like it's not that it started with makeup, but like I know how popular makeup got for the younger people, which again, for better or for worse. And now it's interesting that it's like invading skincare because it's also not just like American brands; it's also like Korean skincare is very popular right now. Because of how like effective it is, but then at the same time, like that's Korean skincare. Like you're not Korean, so it's not guaranteed to work on your face. Like example for me, like I use Korean men's skincare and it actually did dry my face. And I have eczema. So I now use like a luxury brand that does help though. So I buy the stuff I use, like I put moisturizer on, I put sunscreen on top of that when I go out. Because that's what you're supposed to do apparently. And also again, just because my ex got me into it, because she hated it when my skin was dry. She said my legs looked like they were dying, which is hilarious. She was right to her credit, but it was still funny. So yeah, I as a dude though, I will say like I feel like if you're a dude who's not as attractive as these other men out there, I do feel the pressure to put on skincare to like kind of like distinguish myself. So I can just say that from a guy's perspective, an adult 27-year-old perspective. So I can only imagine how much like worse the pressure is for like a 10-year-old girl.
Yeah. Because they're already so insecure about their changing bodies and like whole new life, whole new look. And all at that age, all you care about is fitting in. So if you and all your friends, all you see online is someone telling you, you have to have this is the next new thing, you need this. Of course you're gonna feel like you do need it.
Yep. Yeah. Like, and again, that stuff is expensive. Like hyaluronic acid is like a solid $30 to $40.
Yeah.
So yeah, what are your?
What's what?
I was gonna ask Ethan what his thoughts were on this because he's a little quiet.
Yes, the little children. Well, the little children. I never liked makeup on them anyway. I've been in middle school or high school. I'm like, what is that on your face? That's their choice, I guess. But I mean, I don't know. Jeez, they should put some age limits on these things. Come on, man. Like, come on, the retinol. Under 25, good. Well, they shouldn't force that. Shit, that shit has retinol on it. It was your ID. You little kid can't find that, That's not safe. You only can put signs. This is, or if the state of California passes a law. No, they put signs everywhere. This thing causes cancer. They can just put a sign there. And then they're like, why don't you sell this to me? Like, point to the sign. That's not safe. That's what I do. Because I still think these little kids don't even need the makeup on their face. I don't even think a lot of adults. I think I find them much prettier without the makeup. That's up to them. But I get it. They look very pretty. You look very pretty with your makeup.
Thank you.
But you're also very pretty without makeup.
Thank you.
But yeah, I think at least for the unsafe stuff, age limits. And also for the rude girls in the store, kick them out. Just kick them out. You're not knocking down my shelves. Get out of here, man.
Although, okay, I will say that a couple days after I first started hearing about this trend and everything that was going on, I went to the mall that day that we met, and I was walking around, and I went into Sephora, and there weren't any 10-year-olds running around. But later on, I was walking by a clothing store, and I saw these 3 preteen girls holding Sephora bags. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's true. Like, kids are doing this. And I watched them. They were looking at some shirts that were hanging on a rack right out front. And they knocked over the shirt. It fell on the ground. And I kind of paused because I wanted to see what they were going to do. And they bent over and they picked it up.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. It gave me a little bit of faith. Like, okay, some kids are not complete monsters.
Well, that's good. Did they knock it down on accident or like?
Yeah, on accident. They were pulling it to like take a look at it, and it fell on the ground. Yeah.
I mean, that's totally cool. I mean, that shit can happen to us too. I mean, we're clumsy.
Yeah. But I don't know why it just like felt. It gave me such hope for the future. Like, okay, that kid did pick it up.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this about Sephora. I hated going into Sephora when I was with my ex with a freaking passion. Number one, I'm already light sensitive as is. Those lights hurt. And it's just the workers there are not the nicest. Even to like my ex, they weren't the nicest. I felt like, so not gonna say they deserve it, but I'm just gonna say, it might be a little bit of a, it's like, hey, this was probably you when you were younger too. Bit of a situation. But yeah, I absolutely hate, like, I hate going into Sephora. It's not cool. The lights, all the makeup and everything. I also will, to be honest, I'm on Ethan's wavelength when it comes to makeup. I thought my ex looked better. Not that she looked better, but I think she looked perfectly fine without makeup. And then once she started to use makeup and everything, like, I had to learn how to compliment her correctly because it's tricky. But like when I see women put on mascara, I like get squeamish because that looks so painful. And then how some people like they curl their eyelashes. Oh
yeah,
man.
I don't like that. That freaks me out.
It looks like a torture device.
I know. Like it's gonna scoop their eyeballs out.
Yeah. So but again, women want to look good for themselves. That's what we've heard many times. So go off. But I will
go
just
off,
say,
queen.
Yeah. But again,
I think that's something the male mind has a hard time understanding, is that it is just fun. Like there's something about fun colors and different shiny stuff. Like one of the most like beautiful experiences as a woman is buying new makeup from Sephora and coming home and like putting it all on full face just to like wash it off, just because you wanted to like see what it looked like and have fun.
Okay, the benefit of having a female perspective on here. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's something that Ethan. I'll speak for myself. Maybe Ethan will one day enjoy that. That's something that I will not really take part in. It's just not my thing.
You got the skincare. That's enough for you.
I got the skincare. Yeah, the skincare. First off, is expensive.
Okay, I will say this. I finally discovered my own like life hack is to figure out the active ingredients of the product that I'm using that my face likes, and that's good for my face. So like for me, I was using this moisturizer for a long time with salicylic acid. And I realized, okay, my skin really likes salicylic acid, and there's 2 brands, The Ordinary and Inkly. The salicylic acid mask that I'm buying is like, it's like $12 or something. Like it's so stupid cheap compared to the luxury stuff. Because they dumb it down. They don't have nice packaging or crazy marketing or anything. So figure out the active ingredients you like and buy it for cheap from those brands.
Right. I could do this. That's fair. Yeah. Because again, I have eczema, so my skin is pretty bad. but I've worked on it.
Look at you. You
Yeah.
gonna do skincare?
I got my lotion.
Did you ever use the scrub that I gave you?
What thing? What scrub?
Yeah, that answered the question.
I will say,
I use your
Bef-
mom's body lotion.
Oh, that's nice.
Body oil.
Oh, the body scrub?
Wash.
Yeah. That was in his Christmas stocking
Ah.
from my mom.
Before you two got together, I was definitely telling Ethan about the importance of skincare.
Oh, you sure were.
I was constantly telling him about it. He didn't really listen, but that's okay.
Crusty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that pretty much wraps everything up for
You forgot
today.
the deep question, at least one. I'm looking forward to those.
Okay. Let me consult my list. Oh, okay. Here we go. So, what is your guys' this is a doozy. Oh man, I'm pretty proud of myself for this. What is your guys' concept of freedom? Because for me, freedom is it's the highest level of being. I actually view freedom as being a better emotion than happiness. Because I can be happy, but I've only felt freedom like 3 times in my life. And for me, because of everything that's happened to me in my life, I definitely view freedom as like the number one thing. That's like what keeps me going. Otherwise, like I wouldn't be trying so hard with all this.
He has the freedom to get up and walk out of the room.
I know. Wow, that's freedom for you.
That's
So,
freedom for me.
Jesus, that's crazy. This man just asked me to ask a deep question, and I burst my soul, and he just left like that. That's just cold right there. That's a cold world situation right there.
I have to keep my laptop on here more of your answers.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, his computer both die.
Man.
Hold on, I'll fix that.
Oh, man. That was crazy. This guy.
I knew you would hold that. Freedom. That's a nice freedom right there.
Yeah, that's what we were saying.
Yeah, you're not in the shot.
I know. Hold on.
Just say
Hold on. Hold on.
what's freedom to you?
Freedom to me, the ability to do almost anything I want. Like right now, I feel like I have some tremendous freedom. The only thing is she can't sleep over. But other than that, I can go wherever I want, do whatever I want, eat whatever I want, spend whatever I want, come back whenever I want, and do just about anything I want. So I feel pretty free. That's freedom to me.
I don't know. I don't feel free. I don't feel like I could do anything I want. Like I couldn't just like go spend a month in Europe if I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. There's a lot I feel like I can't do. And I feel like the only thing, like, I feel like freedom is bought. I don't think that it is like guaranteed to everyone. It's more than just like not being in prison and having the right to vote. Like I think it's a lot more than that, and that most people are not truly free.
I also agree with that. Because there are different types of freedom. Obviously, I understand, guys, we're not slaves, but that's not really the freedom that I'm referring to. The freedom, like Elizabeth was talking about, like financial freedom, that's like I would say arguably, the number one reason people aren't free is because they don't have that financial freedom. I've only felt financial freedom like once, and that was literally like, I walked into a fast food place. This is when I had my first job, and I had this confidence and this epiphany where I was like, I can literally order anything on this menu and I can afford it. And it was that was like freedom for me, financial freedom. like this is more so like not like mental freedom actually happened with Ethan. I don't know if he knows this, but he um we were together because my mom was out of the country at the time. And this was the first time that my mom was out of the country and like I was at home with my dad. But my dad was working. So Ethan was driving us to work, to school.
Oh, I remember that.
And after school, we went to a friend's house instead of going back home. And on the way up, because he lived in the mountains, it was that same like that feeling of like just pure like again, I can only describe it as freedom
Yeah.
because like I didn't have to worry about like my parents. So yeah, for me, those are the two times I felt freedom. There is a third time, but it's not it's not appropriate. B, I don't know if it was freedom or something else in the moment. So I will say it was involving my ex. But yeah, so that was, I mean, yeah, that was the question. The other thing that I had that's related to that, but it's not as, yeah, I'm not even gonna ask it to be honest, because I don't know. Oh, I have a question for you two. Do you think you two would have gotten along in elementary school?
Elementary. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got along with just about anyone in elementary. I was pretty happy and outgoing. I'm assuming you were.
I guess. I don't remember. I just remember peeing my pants in elementary school. So.
All right. Well, on that great mental image, we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up. Unless you two have anything else you want to talk about.
Well, I was gonna say, let's say, someone having a tough time in a different country, like, say Mexico. They come and they find a nice life in Arizona. They can feel free, even if they're having financial hardship. They can be free from whatever tough time they're having down there.
Yeah, it's funny. I felt a lot more free as an 18-year-old, and my life was significantly more difficult at 18 than it is now, like financially and otherwise. And like, I didn't have a driver's license. I was so incredibly broke, but I had my own place. I didn't live with my parents. I
pretty free.
I had my own place and I could do what I wanted. I could come home when I wanted. I remember feeling so free because it was different relative to what it was to me before. But now I feel less free, even though I arguably have more freedom than I did then. It's weird.
Well, it makes sense. You're not living alone, and then like I can't sleep over, I can't go upstairs.
Well, I feel more free now than I did at 18.
Oh, I thought you said that.
No. I don't know. It's complicated, but it's relative. Like, I don't know.
Awesome.
To be fair, I also thought
at 18, I couldn't have people sleep over when I was 18. Yeah. I had more house rules then than I do now.
Wait. Okay, so unless I heard wrong, I thought you said you felt more free at 18 than now.
Yeah. I felt more free, but I think
You are
arguably more free now.
But you feel less free.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that's what I thought. That's what it's
yeah.
Because
because relative. When I was 17, I had zero freedom, like at all, like really at all. And then turning 18, even though I had a lot of restrictions and I was broke, I felt a lot more free. And now I have like less restrictions and more money, but I feel less free because it's relative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. All right. Now, I will admit I got confused there too, but I understand what you mean now. That makes sense.
It's interesting. Gotta spice it up.
That's right. Put some sriracha sauce on it.
On that note.
Mm-hmm.
On that note, I was Osandha.
I was Ethan.
I was the Wizardress.
And the quote today, it's a bit of a wacky quote, but Ethan's going to talk shit anyway, no matter what quote I give. So, the quote is, your soul is dyed with the color of your thoughts.
That's right. And the color of my thoughts is black. My soul's black. And my soul's still alive, so your quote's wrong. Just kidding. That's a great quote. I like it. It's actually much more meaningful this time. The last one, whatever it was, some anime thing last time.
It wasn't an anime thing. It was just a quote. It was a Japanese proverb.
Oh, okay.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hello. I want to say hello.